Joseph Peter, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Single and unmarried dating coach goes viral for sharing another tragic story about another failed relationship. Yeah, you heard that right. We've got an unmarried marriage and lifestyle coach here. And you might say, well, Chisha, what's wrong with an unmarried giving dating advice? There's nothing wrong with it. If you drink coffee, that's all. That's the only fix, but I don't see a cup of coffee in sight. In fact, this is the same chick who about a year ago, yes, I'm coming with the receipts, said this on the Coffee Pod. She posted a video that was captioned, "Thank you, Kevin Samuels, for creating the wall." She thinks Kevin Samuels created the wall and not biology. She followed that with this video. Let's check it out.
So this man came into my comments and said that I need to hang it up. I should have been a wife already, yada, yada. I said he needs to hang it up. He should have been financially stable already, yada, yada. Because he's broke, 9 out of 10. He had no response for that. But what he did come back with is that I have hit the wall. Now, if y'all daddy Kevin Samuels didn't tell y'all about this wall, what witty responses would you guys have? What personality would you try to exude? Because your own is clearly failing, right? But the thing about this proverbial wall that you guys are speaking of, because I hit it last year, because I turned 35 last November. Matter of fact, I'm about to be 36, is that I have gotten more male attention from about 33 to now than I did when I was in my early 20s. And I mean men that have something going on for themselves. Because the story that this came from, I was speaking about a doctor. But see, the thing about you subset of men is that y'all want us to be alone and miserable like y'all so bad.
No, we don't actually. I would love for this lady to take a shot of espresso and come to the light. No one wants anybody to be miserable. Now, is it funny? And do people laugh at the fact that the delusion is just out of this world? And is there a lack of empathy because they realize that people decide to believe a lie of the truth? Yes. Yes.
But you see, women like me, the way we differ is that if we don't have anyone, it's by choice. If y'all don't have anyone, it's because nobody wanted you.
All right. So, of course, here we are a year later, and she posted another video titled, "How My Very Healthy Relationship Ended." And she wants us to believe that it ended by choice. No more wasting time. And let's get into this video that she posted.
So this is how my relationship ended, okay? I am very big on boundaries. Y'all should know that I'm a life coach, been doing so for close to a decade. This is what I preach to my clients every single day about one facet of their life or another.
Shout out to this woman's clients real quick.
And a big thing I tell people is that when you meet someone who you like, it is important to tell them your personality type boundaries. So let me explain what that means. I do not ever advise to express boundaries of like time limits. For example, if you're not going to go beyond 3 months without commitment, or if you're not going to go beyond a year without being engaged, so on and so forth. No, those you keep close to the vest. I'm talking about things that pertain to who you are as a person. So for me, my biggest pet peeve in life is to be ignored. And I express this to anyone who I see that I'm going to have interest in, who I see longevity with, right? That's because I want them to not ignore me. I am trying to give them the alley-oop. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to make sure that they know what they should not do. Because if it's done, I'm going to leave. So I told him flat out, like when I saw that we were going to like move towards a relationship, hey, I understand that we're not going to always see eye to eye. And maybe sometimes I'll do something you don't like. You're going to do something I don't like. But if ever that happens and I reach out to you, and if you don't feel like talking, baby, just tell me you don't feel like talking and I will leave you alone. I promise you, I put this on everything I love in the world until you are ready. But do not ignore me, okay? So homie said he would never do that. He don't like being ignored himself. He's going to communicate to me if he needs some time. I said, cool, I'm going to do the same thing for you. We moved on, okay? Everything was Gucci. No need to talk about this any further.
Right.
Let's fast forward. He and I get into it over something that's like, I guess you can say is petty. And I saw emotions were getting high and we weren't understanding each other's point. Like it wasn't being expressed to the way where he can get what I'm saying and I can get what he's saying. So I said, listen, baby, listen. Let's table this for the night because the emotions are too high. It's not a conducive conversation, right? Let's table it for tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be happy to revisit it because we'll be more calm so that we can really have a conversation and we can get each other's point and so we can resolve this. He said, you know what, you're right. I understand that, let's table it. We literally hug, kiss, everything, and, we parted ways. He went home, so on and so forth, right?
Sounds pretty good so far. And this is where things take a turn. Speaking of ignoring, here's something you definitely should not ignore. And of course, I'm talking about the sponsor of today's video, Tiege Henley.
How do I know that Teach Hanley is the #1 skincare product for men? Well, because I tried them out for the first time and they delivered. Listen, when Teach Hanley promised to uncomplicate my skincare routine, they came through, man. I use Teach Hanley every day and I'm at the point now where I don't even have to think about it. They make it easy, especially with their instructional card that tells you what product to use and at what time. They didn't only promise to help me with my skin, which they did, but they also claim that they had over 500 5-star reviews, and they were right. Yes, 500 5-star reviews from other happy customers. So while you're sitting here watching this video, there are other people leaving their reviews on their positive results and experiences with Teach Hanley. What's taking you so long? Listen, guys, I use everything inside that box. From their face wash, exfoliation scrub, morning moisturizer, PM moisturizer. I make sure that when I step out, my skin is healthy, protected, and ready to take on the day. So if you're tired of struggling with your skin and want something that works, hit that link pinned to the top of the comments section and get your first box today. The good news is today, Teach Hanley is running a special for my viewers and my audience. Get your first box today and you get 30% off and a free gift. That's 30% off and a free gift. Click that link at the top of the comment section and get your first box of Teach Hanley. Trust me, man, you won't regret it.
Let's keep listening.
To the next day, I don't hear from him, which is abnormal because typically he's going to reach out to me like on his way to work. So I reach out to him, of course, because this is my man. Like, of course I'm going to reach out. He doesn't respond. So I'm like, all right, hours pass, he doesn't respond. Now, see, for me, if I reach out to you and I don't hear from you, I'm not thinking you cheating or you doing something foul. I'm thinking something happened to you or ditch somewhere, right? So now I'm worrying. So I'm calling, he's not answering the phone. So I'm like, okay, bet. We did not exchange social media like usernames or whatever, because I don't do the whole social media thing when it comes to relationships. I really just think it's like a jinx to be.
You don't do the social media thing. You just talk about your relationships in public on TikTok. Let's keep listening.
Honest with you. But now I'm just like, okay, let me see if I can find his social media. So I'm searching. I can't find it. So anyway, Eureka. Okay. I was able to find his Instagram. This man had posted stories on his Instagram within the time that I was trying to reach out to him. So I said, okay, he's alive. Bet, we're good. That night he calls me and he's just like, I just needed a day to myself to really like gather my thoughts and really, understand what was going on. And I realized it wasn't even that deep. And, I just want to apologize for what happened. I apologize for not hitting you up. I said, it's okay. That's cool. I understand, your emotions, like I said, was getting the best of us and so on and so forth. And, I'm glad that everything is ironed out now. I'm glad that you're okay because I was worried about you. He's like, oh, you was worried about me? That's so sweet. Now you didn't have to worry. I just needed some time. I said, okay, cool. I said, well, take care of yourself. He said, what? What do you mean take care of myself? I said, take care of yourself. Like, move well. I hope you get everything in your life that you want. I hope you accomplish everything in life that you want. Be easy. So he's baffled. He's done. We're on the phone. He's baffled. He's dumbfounded because it's silence. He's like, you breaking up with me? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, you broke up with you. Right? Because I told you when we first started talking that I don't do.
You did this to yourself. This chick's crazy.
The whole ignoring me thing. I don't do that. I was very, very clear that if you ever needed time, just tell me that and I'm going to leave you alone. But you ignoring me all day, that's not going to fly, baby. So take care. So he rambled on and on and on about me being irrational and me doing this and me doing that and me blowing out of proportion, yada, yada, yada. And I listened. I didn't say anything. And then when he was done, I said, take care again and hang up the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, let me keep it a whole being with you. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to overlook it. I wanted to forgive him. But I told him I didn't play them games in the very, very beginning. And then he did it anyway. So at this point, if I stay, I am disrespecting myself. At this point, if I stay, I am telling him that when I tell you I don't tolerate something, that actually I do tolerate something. And now I'm giving him the key to play in my face. Like, you see what I'm saying? Boundaries are not easy. Okay? It can be very difficult sometimes, actually. But you have to put you first. And sometimes that ain't fun. Y'all be safe.
All right. So let me say two things that will show that I'm understanding with where I believe she's coming from. Number one, I get boundaries, right? I get people who set boundaries for their relationships. I get it. People have deal breakers. More on that later. Number two, I do also understand that there are men out there who purposefully ignore women, as a way to teach them a lesson or manipulate. I get that those men exist. I'm not going to sit here and act like they aren't people or men or women out here who don't do this. That's not where I'm going to come at this from. My thing is, no man who is trying to be manipulative in that way comes back and apologizes for ignoring you or for not communicating. Because if he was actually ignoring her, he wouldn't have reached out. He wouldn't have reached out to say, hey, here's why I haven't been trying to communicate with you today. He didn't ignore her the whole day. He actually reached out at the end of the day and said he needed a day to himself. I understand that's uncomfortable for a lot of women out here because chicks love talking about things. They want to sit down and talk. And something that a lot of women do not realize about men is they are more affected when it comes to high intensive emotional arguments, discussions, whatever you want to call them. There's studies to back this up. It takes men longer to stabilize and regulate themselves after high emotional discussions. This is why men joke about not liking that whole like, hey babe, we need to talk from your woman, because plain and simple, men don't deal with high emotional situations as well as women do. This is why you will never win in the area of emotion when it comes to your chick. And so a lot of times men usually resort to things like, walking away. There's this post that I remember posting on my community page. And by the way, this is not to say these are healthy ways of dealing with arguments. These are just common ways men deal with this situation. There's a post that I'm going to post it here on screen that I shared on my community post that says, an Italian man went on a 280-mile walk to cool off from an argument with his wife. Any man who has dealt with the high, intensive, emotional argument with the woman understands this post. You're like, oh, yeah, he needed that. Now walking 180 miles after an argument, of course, is crazy, but we get it. Men will either do that or they'll do what's called stonewalling, which is just basically being present, but not entertaining or engaging that argument. Now, knowing this about men, as a woman, you have to understand that he's not always going to be ready to enter these high intensive arguments, or maybe he'll need some space. And while a lot of chicks out here may think, well, he knew her boundaries, etc., men aren't just going to adjust like a light switch, especially if you've got the type of energy that I'm sensing this chick has, especially if you're a woman who doesn't drink coffee. That's the biggest problem here in this situation. But listen, guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? I think that at this woman's age, and a lot of women like her, they just get more strict with their boundaries, and they think that is a good thing. When you're out here Xing men off, and by the way, this is also why a lot of men look at a lot of chicks who are single and they're like, I can't feel bad for you. Chances are you let a man go over some petty shit that could have otherwise been worked through, right? Let me know what you guys thought of what she said. Do you agree with her? Let's check out some of these comments, because a lot of people had a lot to say in the comment section as usual. The first comment here says, how come all life coaches and marriage counselors are single? And this is what she had to say in response. Let's get it.
Follow me. Let's say you've been having pain, fatigue, vomiting, right? Loose bowels, so on and so forth. And you're like, I need to figure out what's going on. Something isn't right. And so you go to your PCP. That's a primary care physician for a lot of y'all, because some of y'all ain't seen the doctor in about 10 years. Okay. So you go to your PCP and they say, hey, I think you need to go to an oncologist because I found a tumor. Do you know what an oncologist is? Let me again tell y'all, because not too smart. An oncologist is the doctor that specializes in cancer. Okay. And you go to the oncologist says, baby, listen, we got to take this tumor out. Because if we don't take this tumor out, your chances are slim, okay? And so you're like, you know what? Before I really have you operate on me, I'm going to go look up your reviews. And you go look up their reviews, and they have 5 stars. Every patient that they've ever gone to has given them rave reviews. Either they've cured the cancer, or they really helped them along the process, so on and so forth. So then you say to oncologists, hey, have you ever had a tumor? Because that's going to be how I determine if you're going to be the doctor for me. Yeah, that's how a lot of y'all sound when y'all make comments like this. I am not a fly by night.
life coach. Okay. I don't really throw in my degrees and stuff like that because I feel like it's bragging. But again, like I've said previously, I have a master's in psychology. I am a certified life coach, been doing it for close to a decade. Y'all worried about my relationship status as opposed to worrying about my effectiveness. So let's worry about.
Okay, so she's basically saying I'm effective in the work that I do. I don't think so, ma'am. That's just not true. I mean, what's the point here? Are you claiming to give the type of advice that gets women husbands? Where's the proof for that? Since you brought up KS earlier on, I remember KS asking other women who claim to be these life coaches and etc., asking for them to provide the proof. I'm not somebody who sits here and tries to encourage men to get married, even as a married man myself, right? Or tries to convince them not to get married. My goal is to help you realize the very tragic gravity of the situation we're in today's dating market, and then you get to decide whether it's worth it for you to make that decision for yourself. I don't know what decision is best for you, but what I will say is if you plan to have children, of course, we know 2-parent households are best for relationship. But back to this chick right here. She's talking about you don't go to a doctor and ask him if he's ever had a tumor, etc. You look at the patients that he's worked on. So where are your patients? So when I look at the comment section, I just see other single women who are also deciding to never settle, right? Let's keep listening.
My success rate, okay? 82% of the couples who come to me, whether they're married or not, stay in their relationship for a year plus after my coaching sessions. That is how effective I am. And the couples that came to me who were not married, 50% of them moved on to marriage. And the craziest part is that none of the couples who have solicited my services have ever asked me my relationship status. But you miserable people online are worried about it. So in conclusion, instead of worrying about if the oncologist had cancer, worry about if the oncologist can cure cancer. Oh, I'm sorry, before I go. And if you...
She's a salesperson here. I hope you're not buying into this. This is not, listen.
Put that coffee down.
Put that coffee down. If at the least, because here's the other thing, maybe you haven't had a marriage, because that doesn't necessarily qualify somebody to help other people, but do you have history of long-term, long-lasting, loving relationships with a man? And what do men as a collective think about what you are saying about what men want? I think most men would hear her and say, yo, we disagree.
Decide to ever fix some bottom teeth of yours, you do understand that your dentist doesn't also have to have messed up teeth too, right? All right, now you be safe.
So she's... Oh man, she's no problem clowning on people in the comment section here. Let's got another comment here from somebody else that says it sounds like he was getting bullied. So this person's like, it sounds like the guy she was dating was getting bullied. Nobody happy breaks up over something that small. Let's see what she had to say in response to that.
First and foremost, I'm only going to address this once. The argument started with him. Something he wanted to bring up that I thought was petty, but I was willing to listen to because it's something that he felt a way about. And as my man, he deserved that from me, right? That's number one. So if anybody was doing the bullying, it was him. Number two, he turned around and said it wasn't even a big deal to begin with. The argument that he started. Okay, so I'm glad that we addressed that. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly what it is because I don't dislike the man. I don't think he's a bad person, and I'm not going to put his stuff on Front Street, but I'm going to leave it right there. I don't do struggle love. Now, this is not saying that you can't compromise.
You don't do struggle love, but you're struggling. Come on, man.
This is not saying that you're not going to have disagreements. This is not saying that you're not going to have to make it through some hard times, because of course you will. That's how relationships grow, and that's how you really get to the strength and to the pinnacle of a relationship. But when there's a boundary involved, because a boundary means if it is crossed, then that's it. Dunzo. My boundary is being ignored. Maybe it's not a big deal to you, but baby, that's a big deal to me. And that's all that matters. And this was not even a boundary I kept to myself. I told him, do not ignore me. If you ignore me, I'm going to leave. I was very clear about that. He must have thought I was playing. I don't play about my boundaries. There have been wars started about somebody crossing a boundary. Do y'all get, is this clicking? Because y'all want somebody to battle out with you and look like a big idiot with y'all and put up with y'all foolishness. Y'all think these things are small. Because I live by 2 rules. I don't play about me. And 2, I'm going to treat everyone the way I desire to be treated until they show me otherwise. If someone I'm in a relationship with tells me this is my boundary, I do not like this, I can guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt, and again, I put this on everything I love in this world, it will never happen because I love you and I care about you and I value you, and I never want to do something that is going to harm you or
Let's keep listening.
make you feel some type of way or put you in any kind of place that's going to be uncomfortable for you. So I expect that same thing in return from the people who I deal with. And if it cannot be provided for me, that is fine. I'm going to go my way. Because again, rule number 1, I don't play about me. So y'all can think it's dumb all you want or small all you want or it wasn't that big of a deal all you want. I said what I said and I stand on who I am. Simple. Stay safe.
All right, there you go. And we've got one last one here, last comment that she responded to. And you guys feel the energy, right? You feel the masculine energy and it's just like, she probably did the man a favor. Let's be honest here. From what it sounded like and from what she said, he's not a terrible person. Another comment here says it's for attention purpose only. So he's talking about her posting about her relationships. Let's find out what she had to say about this.
So this is you, right? Huh? LG, is this you? Now let's be clear. Anyone who starts a social media platform is looking for attention. Because baby, if this is not attention seeking, I don't know what is. Now the difference in attention seeking varies, right? Because someone like me comes to social media to build my business and to build awareness. I came to social media, how I started off coming to social media was to build the Black community. So my content has benefits, right? Like, because when I tell stories about my own life, I am really just leading by example. I want people to understand that what I'm telling them to do is something that I actually live by. Who is this helping, LG? Huh? Who is benefiting from this? And don't get me wrong, you're not a bad looking man, okay? I get it. So maybe your purpose is, baby, come on, LG. Building deep intimacy involves creating an environment. Baby, you have yourself rubbing your woman down on social media. Are we talking about attention here? Like, what's really the tea?
But he's got a woman. And you don't have a man.
I'm cool with criticism, right? Because that's a part of the game when you have a social media platform. But hypocrisy, and she's beautiful, by the way. Hypocrisy, that one doesn't sit too well with me. Stay safe, LG.
Listen, guys, what do you think? Of course, I'm curious to know. I hope more men who want to find a woman who can cooperate with a man, who can bring what they value to the table. I hope men find that. Although I don't necessarily push men to one decision or the other, I just want what's best. And if you don't, and you just want to live your life by yourself and be happy and avoid the drama, you've been divorced 3 or 4 times. No one has the right to make men feel guilty for tapping out of this chaotic dating environment. Listen, guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think. As always, stay caffeinated. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.